Yo, what's up, YouTube? I am back, man. I'm back, finally back and ready to put out some content. All right. First off, I wanted to do a video talking about the entire Hall of Fame weekend. Um, crazy experience for me, man. Definitely by far my favorite boxing experience ever. Without It's not even close. It's not even debatable, man. I couldn't wait to make content on this. I'm gonna talk about the weekend here in this video, but I'm also gonna make another video, just with some photos and some content, some video that I had from over the weekend. Okay, I'm sure most of you have seen the inductions, on the bigger channels like Fight Hype and all the major media channels. But I wanted to give you guys a real thorough video talking about the entire weekend because so much happened this weekend. I did do one video while I was out there, but from the second day on, I really didn't have any downtime to make any more content because I was out all day on the second day. And by the time I got home or got back to the hotel, it was already too late. I only had enough time to shower and sleep. And then I went right back out on the third day of the induction weekend. Okay. But it was an amazing experience. I got to meet a lot of people and chat with a lot of people. And it definitely uh, I took a lot out of this experience. And I want to say I'm going to speak on a lot of things in this video here. It's probably going to be one of my realest videos ever that I ever put on this channel. But I wanted to do it live. I started to just record it because I know there was probably things that I would probably not remember because there was a lot of things. And I tried to I try to make some notes. But you know what? I'm just gonna just freestyle it, and I want it to be very real, and just give you my experience up at the Boxing Hall of Fame. All right. Before we get started, I just want to give a rest in peace to Simoso Buthelezi. He's the gentleman that passed away last week. I'm sure you guys are. I did bring it up at some point last week. There was a viral video going around of a South African fighter that was basically fighting and throwing punches in the air during a fight. Okay. He had knocked down his opponent. He first went after the referee. We've all seen it at this point. But I just wanted to give you my deep condolences to him and his family, his loved ones. The video went viral. I think when I mentioned it in a live I did last week, I didn't know he passed away at the time. But he did pass away. He had a coma and he did pass away. He was only 24 years old. I think he was in his fourth or fifth professional fight. Okay. And he's no longer with us. So I just wanted to send my condolences to his family, his loved ones. And watching that and then going into this weekend and speaking to guys like a Bernard Hopkins, specifically him, because he had a whole lot to say. I know you guys saw some of his speeches from the media channels, but I having one-on-one and just speaking to him where he was just off talking to fans, conversations that just wasn't recorded. There were a lot of conversations from this weekend that just weren't recorded because I feel like, and I've said this before on this channel, I feel like when you have conversations with like boxers and you don't pull out a camera, they'll have a more honest conversation with you. I think when you pull out a camera, it kind of takes away because now you have to be a little bit more cautious on what you're saying because it's most likely going to be posted. you know, and it's great. It's great content to have and everything, but certain conversations should be left in private. You know, certain things should not be said. All right. And I stand by that. There's plenty of things that have been said to me by certain boxers that I met that I just never talked about on this channel, because I won't, because I care more about the sport than just getting views. You know, obviously I want to get views, I want to get subscribers and all that, but certain things should just be kept private, you know. Shout out to everyone that's here. What's up, Conno Loco, David, Lincoln Clay, Andrew Smith, Les, Hannah Boxing Review, and shout out to just anyone that's you know, that's, you know, subscribe. If you are subscribed, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thanks for everyone that supported. This weekend was an amazing weekend, man, and I really can't wait. I couldn't wait to just talk about everything that's happened. But you know, I wanted to get that out of the way. With Butalezi that passed away. All right, rest in peace to him. Such a dangerous sport, and sometimes we forget that you can actually die here. You know, and this is why I try my best. As angry as I get at certain boxers, I do remember that you can die here. You know what I'm saying? And I learned, and just speaking to a lot of these boxers, legendary boxers, you see that they're not the same. You know, they're not just aging, but they're aging and they've been through a lot. You know what I'm saying? They took a lot of damage. They fought wars, and you can see, and you could speak to some of these people, and you know, like, something's a little off because of their experience and the years they put in to entertain us, because it's just entertainment with us, you know. um the class of 2020, because we got to remember there's three classes in this Hall of Fame induction. All right, 2020, we didn't get anything because of COVID. 2021, it was canceled again. In 2022, we got that with the previous 2 years. I just want to list the names before I start talking, because I don't want to forget anyone. Bernard Hopkins of 2020, Marquez, Shane Mosley, Frank Ernie, Patty Ryan, Christy Martin, Lucia Riker, Barbara Buttrick, Lou DeBella, Kathy Dua, Dan Goosen, Bernard Fernandez, and Thomas Hauser. A 2021 class, Klitschko, Vladimir Klitschko, Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward, Davey Moore, Layla Ali, Ann Wolf, Lady Tiger, Jackie Tonawanda, Freddie Brown, Margaret Goodman, Jackie McCoy, George Kimball, and Jay Larkin. And in 2022, Miguel Cotto, Roy Jones Jr., James Toney, Tom Morgan, Regina Halmick, Holly Holm, Bill Kaplan, Chuck Hull, Ron Borges, and Bob Yalen. Congratulations to all of them that made it into the Hall of Fame. The reason why this was the best boxing experience, and I don't believe that there's, you know, I actually went into the history and looked at previous inductions. I think this is simply the greatest induction that you could have, just because of the amount of people that was inducted in one weekend. All right. I didn't even realize that when I purchased my tickets in December and I booked, I didn't even realize that they were inducted. They were doing the 2 previous years. I just booked simply because Roy Jones, James Toney, and Miguel Cotto was being inducted. I saw that and it said, I'm in. I'm going up there. I purchased my tickets right away. All right. I booked my hotel. I made plans. I purchased tickets for every single event. I didn't care who was going to be there or not. I just wanted to get the full experience. And I had found out last minute that they were doing the previous 2 years. Everybody everybody must, not me, not say must, because I understand that there's a lot of people that don't travel. If you're not a traveler, you know, I'm not, I'm not expecting boxing fans to go to this kind of event. It's all the way up in New York State. It's far up. I live here in the city, and it's a 4-hour drive from me, Canastota, New York. In that area, it's a small town. That area is basically known. This is my third time going up there, but this was my first actual induction. I've been to the Hall of Fame. I've even made content. This is my first time going to the actual induction. It's a small town. All right. It's literally right off the exit. It's the first building right off the exit. There's the actual museum. The next to that, there's like a hall with a ring inside. There's merchandise. You can purchase merchandise there. And on the outside of that is where the stage and where they had everyone speaking. Okay. I feel like as a boxing fan, I was a little disappointed with the amount of people that weren't there. And when I say that, I mean that there's a lot of people there, but I feel like unless you're working, you shouldn't be able to get so close to people like Roy Jones, Bernard Hopkins, Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather is tough to get close to. I didn't get to him because he has a lot of security. Gail Cotto, Terrence Bud Crawford, Sean Porter, all of these people that were there. Julian Jackson walked in while I just happened to be standing on the side of the stage. I was trying to, meet Layla Ali, and Michael Spinks and Julian Jackson just walked from around the corner of the building, and like no one's even paying attention to them. It's just like they're just walking, they just chilling. And I went up to them first right away, and it's like they both look great. You guys might have saw some of the pictures I posted on Instagram. Julian Jackson still has the same perfect fade. It's gray, but he has the same exact age. He has not lost any hair. Like his I could never have a haircut that straight. But he still looked good. It was good seeing him. Those are two of the first people I saw when I arrived. And he looked great. When I first got there, and maybe I'm gonna be hopping around, but I'm gonna try to stick to like doing this whole thing in order. Julian, when I got there, I went straight to the Hall of Fame, and this is where everybody was doing the fist casting. Everyone that got their fist casted that weekend is not being inducted. So people believe that Terrence Bud Crawford, because he was there, that he was actually getting inducted. He is a future Hall of Famer already. Sean was there. And Sebastian Fundora was there. I believe that Showtime was sponsoring the event. There were fighters there that weren't being inducted. They were just there. And Bud Crawford did not get inducted. I seen that it was going around that he got inducted. He didn't get inducted yet. He was just doing the fist casting. He was at all of the events. He was just there. All right. So when I got there, they were just beginning to do some, introductions to a lot of the fighters that was going to be there. So there I saw Miguel Cotto. I saw Marquez. I saw Layla Ali. I saw Ann Wolfe, Michael Spinks, Julian the Hawk Jackson, Charles Edward Cheese. Thank you for donating, bro. Thank you. I appreciate you. Who else was there? Who else was there? I'm trying to think of who else was there. All right, but that's just to name a few. They were all there, and they were getting their fist castings. Andre Ward, I see Andre Ward. Um, my thing is this, and on day one, I like to just meet boxers, approach them, shake their hand, and thank them for what they've done. I don't always ask for photos. I don't always ask for autographs. Luckily, my boy that I went with, he's the one that was like, "Yo, you got to get these photos. You got to get these autographs because you never know, you know." And he was right. But day one was more like meeting people, introducing myself, and just thanking them for what they've done. I think they need to hear that more from my fans. But like I said, I'm a little disappointed because I feel like more boxing fans should be there. I felt like a lot of people that were there are locals, um, and a lot of extremely diehard older fans. It's not much of a young crowd there, you know, and it made me think, not everybody's gonna be able to go. Like I said, some people don't have the funds to do it. Some people don't have the time. I understand people have families, they got other business going on and stuff. I know that everybody can't make it. I know some people that are not just travelers, you got to go all the way upstate. I get it. I get it. It's not for everybody, but for that class of inductions, I feel that there should have been more people there, you know, and I think especially the content creators, the people that are making money off this sport, the media people, I think those are the people that should take the time to make that trip. You know, there's a lot of people. Shout out to Charles Edward Cheese. He just donated. Charles Edward Cheese just donated. There's plenty of channels. There's plenty of people that are making money that are not fighting. I think everybody should do their best to try to make these events because this is like the Super Bowl. It's like our Super Bowl of boxing. You know what I'm saying? This is outside of the big major fights that happen. I think people should try their best to try to make one, at least one, at some point in their life, especially the diehard people. The diehard people should make one. Do whatever you can to make one. Make the trip. I know it's out in the country somewhere, but please make the trip because this was my favorite boxing experience ever. It's not even close. It's not a close. I went to the gas station that was right across the street. Not the same day, not day one, day two, because a lot of things are old fashioned with the Hall of Fame. You gotta pay. You gotta. There's only two ways I think you can pay. You can only pay by mailing in the actual flyer, the pamphlet, the schedule, and with writing your name and information with a check. Or you can call them and order all of the tickets over the phone. Okay. It's not something that you can go online and type in PayPal. It's very old school way of doing things. Most of the vendors and stuff up there, you have to pay cash. It's a very, you can't just bust, yo. I was like, yo, can I use my iPhone? And I'd use my iPhone to pay for everything. This is a very old way of doing things. All right. But there was a point where I needed to go to the ATM because I was at a card autograph event that was on day two. And I'll get to that when I get there. I ran out of cash. And then I saw a bunch of valuable things that I wanted. And I had to go to the ATM. And while I was at the ATM, I'm talking to a fan. And we were at the gas station for about good 20 plus minutes just talking to another fan. That's the kind of experience you're going to get, and a lot of these fans are much older fans. They're not my age. Most of them are like my age and older, much older. You know what I'm saying? People that can tell you about different generations of boxing. And I just felt like the people that we talk with on a daily basis, they weren't there. Those kind of fans are fans that's just on the internet, dissing fighters, being fanboys, acting like they're, like those people weren't there. This is the most authentic form of boxing, the most authentic boxing experience that you're ever going to get. There's no other experience. I've been to big fights, you know. I felt like I got a little bit of that when I went to Floyd Mayweather against Manny Pacquiao. And the only reason why I can compare the 2 weeks, because I spent the entire week for that fight out in Vegas. And I can tell you it felt similar only because they had a lot of boxing events throughout the entire week out in Vegas. This was the most press that we got in boxing in a very long time. ESPN had events throughout the day. They had like Hall of Fame events where the older guys came out. That's why I had made a video about Mike McCallum. I was with a friend that knew him, and we actually hung out one of the nights there and had some drinks. One of the nights there, there were other boxing events there. That was the only experience that I've had. But this one was different. This one was special because it didn't have any of the flashiness. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to answer some of your questions. I see your answer. It didn't have any of flashiness. This was just normal boxing fans. No flashiness. I would never want this to be a Vegas thing. And this is a conversation that I had with people while out there. I'm glad it's all the way upstate because it's just real, raw boxing fans. And you're just engaging with people that's been a fan of the sport for a very long time. Most older folks, you know, and I loved it. How were people dressed? People were dressed normal. The only time people were dressed up was for the banquet on Saturday night where we saw Floyd Mayweather's speech where he was crying. It was a very formal event. Everyone was wearing suits. I was actually upset because I wore a button up and some slacks, but I didn't know that it was going to be formal on that level. Everyone was dressed very nice, very classy event. If I wear a suit every day to work. If I had known it was going to be like that, I would have already showed out and wore one of my new suits to that event. But outside of that, everybody was dressed normal. All right. So anyway, let's go back to the weekend. So it was an introduction thing. You know, we left. There was a Showtime card Friday night. Okay, this is on Friday. I go to the card. Nothing special. I've been up there. I've been to a few fights at the Verona Casino. That's the place to hang out at. It's about 10 minutes away from the Hall of Fame. The casino's cool. They have a few lounges. They have a good amount of restaurants. I ran into Jack Reese a few times during the weekend, but I think I ran into him outside just having a drink. He was having a drink. Very funny guy. Nothing but love. Good jokes. I ran into Tony Weeks throughout the whole weekend too. I ran into everybody the whole weekend. You keep seeing people and you feel like they recognize you, like, hey, what's going on? Tony Weeks was like that. Bernard Hopkins was like that. It was just a few people that I kept running into, and you feel like you keep seeing the same person. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Leonard Ellaby was out, and he would be out and about. I actually ran into Jay Prince. Jay Prince was just walking with, I don't know if he was with a security or somebody was escorting him, but he was just walking around by himself on the day of the actual introduction. And it's like no one even realized who he was. He's just walking around. There were a lot of people just was walking around. But anyway, I went to the Showtime card. Pretty cool card. You know, it was just a regular fight card. Jalolev got the knockout, the heavyweight, up and coming heavyweight. Everybody's watching it. You guys seen it on TV. They're actually doing, Andre Ward is doing a boxing documentary on Showtime. So I saw him with his family. His whole family was there. I seen his wife, his kids. His whole family was there. He brought his whole family out there. He was out there just walking around. They were doing a doc on him. You know, I saw a few other faces at the fight, but it was cool. And then I think I went to the lounge and whatever, hung out. Day one was probably the most relaxed day out of all of the days. Shout out to all the subscribers that I met while I was out there too, by the way. I met some subscribers. Everybody was real cool. You know what I'm saying? I actually signed my first glove this weekend. I signed my first glove. Someone asked me to sign their glove for them. And I was like, "Are you serious?" And he's like, "Hell yeah." I took a picture with him and then he asked me to sign the glove. And I was like, "All right. I mean, I'll sign it." And then uh, I don't have a signature for BoxingWave. I started to sign my real name. And I stuck. I was like, and I just freestyle. And I was like, okay, when I go home, I'm gonna work on this BoxingWave signature thing because that was like a crazy experience with somebody asking me to sign their glove was crazy. That was pretty dope. Like that never happened. I go to a lot of fights and people ask to take pictures or they just like come up and shake my hand like, yo, I love the content, whatever. Or they'll talk about a certain video I did. But that was the first time somebody actually asked me to sign a glove. That was the first for me. But that was really dope experience. Like I was like, yo, that's crazy. Like, but yeah. Did I meet Holly Holm? Yes, I did. I shake her hand. I didn't take a photo with her though. I took photos. I have photos of her there, but I didn't actually take a photo. I didn't take a photo with everyone. Some people I just shook their hand, and especially on day one, I didn't ask for any autographs from anyone. The only photo I think I got with someone was two, Sean Porter and Roy Jones. All right, Roy Jones is it's like my favorite. You know, him and Tyson are my top two. So yeah. So anyway, let's go into day two. Day two was the busiest day. We got up, me and my boy Chad, we got up, we went to the autograph merch signing card event. It was at a high school up there, and we got there first. First thing is, I didn't know what to really expect for any of these things. I didn't walk around with anything to get signed by anyone. I kind of was just going just to check the vibrations and stuff like that. Luckily, my boy was with me. He's the one that kind of made me start taking pictures with people, start getting autographs signed and stuff because that's what he was there for. He was there to get I never was big on the autograph thing, but it after that day, I kept running into people, and at some point, I was like, man, I actually I think it's cool to have all of these signatures from all of these legends, right? And by the way, when I say I was never into it, it's not because I think I'm too big for it or anything. It's just that I've been like that with every sport, and I've been that with celebrities in general. Whenever I met celebrities, I kind of just always thanked them for what they did and kept them moving. It's many celebrities that I've known over the years that I just never was like all about the photo or the pictures or whatever, or I mean the autographs. Sorry, the autographs. But it started on day two. Like day two, I got everything autographed at that point. So I go to the event and there's nothing but, I mean, man, I can't wait to show some of the things that I got. Um, they have so many great historical pieces of like art and merch and like old school gloves, old school photos signed, old school posters, boxing schedules. Like they had like things that were like over 100 years old that people were selling, and it was like replica belts. They had like really thick. I actually purchased one replica belt, and I'm gonna grab some of this stuff that I got in a minute. Just let me just try to remember because I don't want to forget everything because it was just so much stuff that was happening. It was so much stuff there, and at this point is when we realized, shit, they only take cash, and I don't have that much cash on me. And it was just a whole lot of going back to the ATM, putting stuff in the vehicle. It was just a whole bunch of just like, it was just so much stuff there. So the fighters started coming out, uh, and I was able to get Miguel Cotto to sign one of my gloves. Um, I was able to purchase a signed Larry Holmes photo. I love Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes is probably my second favorite heavyweight after Ali from the past. Right. So I always separate my favorite fighters from before my time. And Larry Holmes, even though I did see live fights of him, his 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 prime fights were before my time. All right. But Larry Holmes after Ali is my second favorite heavyweight from before my time. So I was able to get that picture. I'm gonna reframe it and do it, but I got that. Uh, I was able to run into Marlon Starling. I got a photo with his autograph. We had a conversation. Um, he, just talking about his career and stuff. Very cool, very good gentleman, funny guy. I was able to chop it up with Iran Barkley, and we just talked about the Bronx. He's from Patterson Houses, which is near the area where I grew up. When I was born in Lincoln Hospital, which is literally right around the corner from where he's from. And I'm from that same area, that whole Mott Haven area over there. So we was able to talk about that and vibe and stuff. I had purchased a replica belt, and he had signed it for me. But yeah, I spoke to Iron Barkley. James Toney was there. He showed up. I believe Ann Wolf was there. All right. He was there. She was there. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of who else was actually there. But Miguel Cotto showed up, and he was actually getting a lot of pictures and just taking pictures with a lot of people. I believe Marquez might have showed up at this event too. Now, people don't know that Miguel Cotto was also at the fight down in the city at Madison Square Garden between the Puerto Rican fighters. I believe Berlanga fought. I did see some of his fight, and I saw the Jose Vargas knockout. It was cool. The card thing was cool. I was able to get a bunch of stuff, and I'm going to show some of you guys some of that stuff later in this video. All right. So we leave there, and then we went back to the Hall of Fame, right? Because some people were there. This might have been one of my favorite parts of the weekend because Bernard Hopkins was there, and he was doing interviews. I believe with Showtime, maybe Fight Hype. I'm not sure, but he was doing interviews, and he did Sean Porter's podcast. Now, when I got there, everybody was running up on him, of course. I saw Roy the previous day. I saw everybody else. Bernard Hopkins goes over to Sean Porter's tent. And if you go on a Porter Way podcast, right, he does an interview with Porter. Now, Porter, I had already chopped it up with Porter. He was at his tent chilling, and I was by the tent just chilling because I knew B-Hop was going to go to the tent, so I got there early. So when B-Hop went over to Sean Porter's tent, I was already there, right? So when he does that interview, and please check out the interview on the Porter Way podcast. I believe it's chopped up and edited. I don't think he posted the whole thing. I did record most of it. I'm never going to put that out because that's Porter's content. All right. There's a point where Bernard Hopkins is giving real life lessons, right? To Porter and to everyone that was standing there and anyone that's going to watch that video. If you can, please go to Porter's podcast, watch the video. It's a very good interview with B-Hop. All right. And I love listening to B-Hop talk because he's always like this. He likes to give up a lot of game. I would stand in front of the table when he was doing that interview. And B-Hop was giving me eye contact during that whole interview. And I felt like I did not want to look away because he was talking to everyone, but he was looking at me because I was right there. And I don't believe he knows who I am or anything like that. He knows who I am now not because of the channel, but just from seeing me often. B Hop was giving some real good game. And when he left that interview, he had went over to the other side of the Hall of Fame building, right? Fans followed him because I guess they were trying to get autographs. When I got over there, he was talking to the fans and basically telling them how he was bothered by how aggressively people were asking for autographs. And he was basically like, look, long story short, he was saying to the fans, we fought for this, you know, blood, sweat, and tears. I put in the work and people are making money off of my name. And I'm going to get to the induction speech. I'm going to get to all of that. This is on this is on the second day. B-Hop was basically saying, like, look, we get injured, we bleed, we risk our lives for this. People take our autographs, go to places. They don't pay you. They don't give you anything. They take it, resell it. And it made me think back to the autograph event that I had just left and seeing people selling merchandise for hundreds and hundreds of dollars, thousands. And it's just a signed piece of thing. Like whatever I got signed is for me, you know? And I think you could go both places with that because I understand how he feels like there's people that's making money off of his name. But I also feel like some of these are very valuable to the fans. And I understand where he's coming from. And this is why I like to extend my hand out to boxers and thank them for what they've done for the sport. That's like something I've always liked to do. While B-Hop was giving this speech, there was a few fans that kind of got angry, cursed, and walked away. Like, we don't need to hear this shit from you. And they walked away, and they were basically proving his point. While B-Hop was giving this speech, and mind you, this is not being recorded. This is off to the side. There's about 20 fans there, and he's just chilling and posted up on, just chilling. I go up in between this group. I extended my hand out, and I said, thank you for everything you've done. Right? He shook my hand, said thank you, got into the golf cart, and he got escorted from the area. It was a great experience, and I feel like fighters need more of that. Just to thank you. No autographs, no photos, just to thank you. And I thought that was cool because when I ran into him at the parade, I told him congratulations. I actually got a video recording as he's passing by. I said congratulations, and he saw me and he pointed at me and said thank you. He recognized me from that thing because there was a lot of people there, but he turned to me, pointed at me, and said thank you. And I got that video. I got that on video, and I thought that was pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to B-Hop. So the banquet was probably the best experience out of all of them. You had the actual induction the other day, which is at the same place. It was at this casino, the same place that the Showtime fight was on. Very formal. Everybody was assigned tables. We had food. We had drinks. Everybody was very classy. Everybody looked great. Everybody that was there, all the people that were there, everyone looked great. Floyd Mayweather arrives late. All right, everybody goes up. Everyone gets introduced to the stage. Not everyone that's getting inducted, but all of the fighters, Marlon Starling got introduced. Julian Jackson, all the fighters that was there over the weekend, Sebastian Fundora, Sean Porter, Terrence Bud Crawford, and all of the inductees as well. Floyd Mayweather shows up late, and he makes an interest. You know how it is. You know how Floyd is. And I was wondering whether or not he was even going to show up, because he wasn't there yet. Like, he's like the only guy I haven't seen any of them all weekend. Shane Mosley too. I forgot. I seen Shane Mosley at the fist casting thing, right? I actually have a signed glove with him and Mayweather signed from their fight. I didn't get them to sign it for me, though. That is one of the few things that I purchased along with the Larry Holmes signature. I want a bid for that. Floyd Mayweather shows up, and I know you guys seen the speech. I thought, I don't know how you guys feel the way. I personally thought it was one of the best speeches I've heard. He did a speech at the induction too that was very good, but it was a different kind of speech. I don't know if they showed the whole thing online. Floyd was crying for about 10 minutes before he even started to talk. All right. And Floyd showed much love to every single person that was on that stage. Every single one. Every person up there. Barbara Buttrick, a female fighter, she's 92 years old. I thought that was one of my favorite moments of the dinner, because she was basically telling everyone thank you, but she can hardly talk. I like how Floyd, showed her that love when she was giving the speech. She was trying to give her speech. She's 92 years old. That paved the way for the female boxers. I saw Christy Alley. So I know I probably never really talked about Christy Alley on this channel, but Christy Alley, I'm sorry, not Christy Alley, Christy Martin. Christy Martin was the first female boxer I ever watched, right? And that actually watched, fighting. And I saw her. I went up to her. Again, I extended my hand and I told her, like, thank you for everything you've done for the sport. But I also told her, like, you were the first female boxer I ever watched. Like, I was actually watching your fights. I know a lot of people like Riker, Layla, and Wolf, before the internet and YouTube, Chrissy Martin was the first person that I watched growing up. You know what I'm saying? The first female boxer that I used to pay attention to. She was very cool. We chopped it up for a minute. She was signing a ton of autographs, so I kept it on. I didn't ask for an autograph. Didn't ask for a picture with her. I would have liked one, but I just wanted her to know that, like, you know what I'm saying? Because that was the time that I had with her. Marquez was doing autographs for anyone. Marquez was probably the best person as far as like giving autographs and friendly. He signed everybody. I didn't get his autograph, but he literally would sign autographs until the fans were done. Even when his car came by on the parade, Marquez was like letting fans run up to his vehicle. Some other people were not doing that. You know what I'm saying? They had security. The police was like, blocking their car. Shout out to her. Shout out to Marquez. He was cool. When the dinner was done, and again, these speeches are all online. They all had great speeches. Bernard Hopkins had some good speeches. I think Floyd's on the banquet night was the best. I was able to use the ticket that I had with my seat, my actual seat. Let me get some of this stuff. Hold on. Give me a second, y'all. Oh, man. Like it's like I'm telling you. I guess I could show you while I'm telling you it. So I'm like, I might as well just show you guys while I'm talking about it, so you guys can see it. And I'm gonna get all this stuff framed and stuff, but I was able to get my ticket. Um, this is my table, and this is my ticket that I purchased, $175 for this dinner, and I was able to get Roy Jones and James Toney to sign both. And I wanted this because I wanted them both specifically on this ticket or on the same item, because that was the fight that, Roy Jones is like my favorite, and James Toney's in my top like 20. That was the fight. Like, that was one of my favorite fights growing up as a kid. I remember watching it live. I believe I wasn't home. I think I was at my aunt's and uncle's house. They had a fight party at the house. Normally my dad had it, but I remember watching it live. Just like I remember when Roy fought Bernard Hopkins. And I wanted this ticket with both of their names on it because James Toney at the time was one of my favorites as a kid. And Roy Jones was my favorite guy on the come up, And Roy Jones is actually my favorite boxer. The reason why I put Mike at number one is because Mike is the reason why I started watching boxing. Mike Tyson was the reason why. So he's always going to be my number one. But Roy Jones is my favorite boxer. Like, I thought that no one can beat Roy Jones Jr. Like, I've never seen anyone as talented as Roy Jones in their prime. All right. This is the Marlon Starlin. He says to Paul, which is my name. This is what I got signed by him. There's a photo that comes with this, but this is the Shane Mosley Floyd Mayweather glove that I won in a bid. All right, it comes with a photo of those two. The reason why this is special to me is because this was the first and only fight that I rooted against Floyd Mayweather. And Floyd Mayweather is one of my favorite fighters ever, but so is Shane Mosley. Shane Mosley is my number 3, and Floyd is my number 4. I was a bigger Shane Mosley fan than Floyd Mayweather. Shane is right after Roy Jones for me. Shane Mosley, when he was at 135 and when he moved up to 147, he was my favorite. I ran into Fundora while he was at the table, and I got Fundora to sign my program of the banquet. And I didn't get him to sign in at first. I actually saw him. He was doing a few signatures. I know a lot of people don't know who he was, so people wasn't really running up to him. He was just there. He's young. But again, I walked up to him. I shook his hand, and I said, I just wished him the best. I think and I said this, I think he has potential to be a 4 to 5 division champion because of his build. I think as he grow, I told him all of this. I said, I think as you grow, you're going to get heavier, but you're going to still have that huge height advantage. I love the way you fight. I didn't mention anything about me thinking that Jamel would knock him out if they were to fight. But I just, I shook his hand. I told him, like, I think you're going to be one of the next top dudes. And, keep doing what you're doing. Just much love and respect. I didn't ask for the signature, but he was hanging around later, and I walked back up to him. I was like, yo, can you sign my thing? Because my boy was with me, and my boy was getting signed. He got way more signings than me. He got everybody to sign. He had that marker on him and all that. So I picked up some when I was at the autograph event earlier. I picked up some old school magazines. There were a bunch of it. There was a guy there that had literally like hundreds of boxes worth of magazines. So I purchased a few. There's a couple more things that I have, but they're too big to bring over here. I'm not gonna even get them. Some old school magazines that, you know, I don't have any, but I might get like a nice little rack, like a fancy rack, and put them on a rack, like a mini rack. I mean, none of these are signed. Most of them involve Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is officially the one person out of my top 5 that I don't have a signature from and that I've never met. I don't think I've even seen Mike Tyson in person before. I've seen a lot of these people that I saw this weekend before, just never like asked for like an autograph or a photo or anything like that. All right. So I bought this replica belt because, and by the way, this belt is small, it's tiny, right? But it's very heavy. It's very heavy, for its size. And the reason why I bought this belt is because I wanted to get some signatures on it. Like everybody got the glove sign, you know, pictures. Wanted to get something different, and I want to continue to add on to it. I wish I had started in the beginning of the weekend. I could have got everyone to sign it, but right now I only got 3. I have Michael Spinks signed the back. I got Iron Barkley to sign when we was having that conversation. Like, the thing about Iron Barkley though, or I'm sorry, I have Ann Wolf. So this is the thing with Ann Wolf. Ann Wolf, during the parade, they're all riding around on their car. And the thing is, no one was running up to Ann Wolf's car to try to get an autograph, right? And there was no security around her. So I'm like, damn, I didn't even get to meet her yet. I kind of just ran up on her. And it's just me and alone. Like no one, I kind of just ran up on her. And she was on the back and I passed up my belt. And I was like, yo, can you sign my belt? And I had the marker and she was like, where do you want me to sign? I said, just sign it real quick because I don't want you to, you on the truck. And she's moving. So she grabbed it real quick and she signed a little bit right over Iron Barkley's name, yo. And I was like, all right, whatever. It doesn't really matter to me. But I want to eventually get like more people to sign this belt. They had like 2 replica WBC ones. They had one with this has this has Hagler on it. They had one with I think Lennox Lewis and damn, I can't remember. But this has Hagler Duran on it. And the other one had Lennox, maybe Mike Tyson. I can't remember. But anyway, I got this one because I wanted something with Hagler on it. Rest in peace to him. But yeah, I want to fill this belt out. All right. It's pretty cool. Nice belt. And so these gloves are just some old-fashioned gloves that I saw. They even had older ones, right? But these are really, really old, clearly, right? They're really old gloves, right? I figure, let me buy these gloves. I just thought they were cool to have. So at the time, it's all that I purchased. It was $20, I didn't have anything else. So when I was able to meet Kodo, I had just these gloves, right? And at this point, I was still like not trying to do the autograph thing yet. And I was able to get Kodo to sign it because I didn't have anything else, right? So I got Kodo to sign these gloves, and I don't want anybody else to sign these gloves. Kodo's one of my top 5. He's after Floyd and Mosley and Roy and Tyson. Kodo's my dude, man. And I'm just gonna leave these gloves for him. And yeah, that's it for now. I think the other items I got I got a picture of Leonard and Duran from their fight week, and I also got a picture of Larry Holmes that signed. All right, so pretty good, some pretty cool stuff. Yeah, so the banquet was excellent. We left there, and then that was it for the night. The next day we had the Jesus, what this I don't want to miss something. All right, so the next morning was the parade. The next morning was the parade, and the parade was great, man. We showed up. We were at the end of the parade. So the thing is, we didn't know how the parade was going to work. It's really like they really only ride through for like 20 minutes. Again, this town, Canastota, is really small. So when it was done, everybody was lined up. You could tell there was a lot of the locals there. Oh, excuse me. And we were at the end. All right. And we were just waiting around, and the cars started coming around. I think Floyd was one of the earlier ones. I think Julian Jackson was one of the early ones. I recorded everyone. That's what I'm gonna make a video, and I'm gonna put them all together. Everybody had their own car and stuff like that. um um Andre Rozier was by where I was standing. All right, and I had ran into him already, and we chopped it up at or I think believe the first night. I talked to Andre Rozier, and he told me something about Danny Jacobs. I don't know if I want to put that information out yet, because I didn't ask him if, again, these are conversations that I have with people that are not recorded, right? But Andre Rozier told me, who's Danny Jacobs' trainer. He's also Derenchenko's trainer, legendary trainer from Brooklyn. Andre Rozier basically told me something about Danny Jacobs. And all I'll say is that they are currently working on a fight that many of us always wanted. Let me just say that. All right. Behind the scenes. Yeah, I could put whatever name together y'all want, but let me just leave it at that. And the only reason why I'm not going to tell you is because I don't know if he wants me. I didn't ask him if he wanted me to put that out there. Hopefully we get that fight, because it's a fight that we wanted. Okay. I know for me, I want it. So we just stick to that. I'm not gonna confirm anything. I see I go to leave comments. All right. But yeah, all right. So he was there with us. Everybody came back, was cool. I got Ann Wolf's signature. The parade was great. It was just crazy because Floyd was like right there, and his security was tight, but it wasn't really that tight. It was tight, but I think that the fans, if you were wanting to go crazy, I'm surprised that the fans didn't like just bum rush his car. But yeah, the parade was cool, real cool. It's nothing really else to say. Everybody had their own car. Freddie Roach was there. I'm sorry. Freddie Roach was the first car. Layla Ali was there. Everybody was there. And then we left there to go to the actual induction. And man, the induction was still set up one by one. You did the 2020s first. You did the 2021s, and then it was like 3 separate shows. And man, it was long, man. It was 4 hours long. We were sitting there. Luckily, me and my boy got front row seats for the area that we could sit at. The area in front of that is for guests of the fighters and the other professionals that weren't being inducted, that were just present. Oscar shows up late. He gets there. It's good to see Oscar there, even though I know a lot of people don't like him as a promoter. He's actually still one of mine. He's actually a top 10 fighter for me. Bernard Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins gives one of the best speeches I've ever heard. Oh man. Bernard Hopkins gave a best speech, man. He can really, he goes into deep. He really goes deep when he goes and does like interviews. His induction speech was incredible. Sugar Shane Mosley, his induction speech was very good as well. Floyd's second actual induction speech was not as heartfelt as the banquet speech. It was more about him and him talking shit, talking about his pay-per-views and stuff. But it was also still a very good speech. Very good speech. I personally like those three. Roy Jones did Y'all Must Have Forgot. He performed the song on his speech. Does Roy Jones have better bars than AB? Yeah, in my opinion, he does. Absolutely. I'm trying to think of anything that I remember. Lady Tiger's speech was good. The WBC presented her with a belt. I love Christy Martin's speech. I love all the females that was able to give speeches. They all, Lucia Riker wasn't there. She's in the Netherlands, but she gave an excellent speech that was pre-recorded and they showed on the jumbo screen. That was a very good speech. Very good speeches, man. I had a very good time, man. And that was the end, that was the end. And I took this long 4-hour drive back home. And again, overall, I probably missed out on so much that happened. And certain things I don't want to, I rather just keep to myself. But what I will say is that, again, it was the most authentic boxing experience. And I feel that because of the group that was there should have been more people there as far as boxing fans. I didn't run into any other channels. I didn't run into any. I didn't run into any, there were some media people there, but they were working. And you know what? I said this to my boy the other day that I went with. One thing about my channel that I'm grateful for is that I'm glad that I don't do this for work. And what I mean by that is like the people that's there working are media people. You have some media people that's just doing their job. They cover whatever sports they could cover for work. But then there's media people that done it as a fan, like Ellie Setback. Ellie Setback was there all weekend, right? I met Ellie Setback. He's real cool dude, very nice guy. I've met him before though. He's at a lot of events. And I wouldn't want it to ever become work to me because it still means something to me when I meet these people, whereas if you're working, you just run into them all the time. So these speeches and these moments, like the Porter Wayne Hopkins moment, or the Hopkins moment when he was talking to the fans, or me meeting Roy Jones for the first time in my life, this is a guy that was one of like my big five, as far as not even just boxing, like of all celebrities. Like my celebrity childhood heroes are like Roy Jones, Michael Jordan, Arnold Schwarzenegger is one of my. When I was a kid, like I watched Arnold Schwarzenegger movies all day. You know what I'm saying? Like I love Arnold Schwarzenegger, like he's like a hero to me. Like, these are like when I met Roy Jones, I know he's just signed and says he doesn't know who the hell I am, but I want to feel that way whenever I'm amongst legends. You know what I'm saying? These guys that's working, it's just like you just working. You're just around them all the time. Doesn't really mean anything. I don't care if anyone was able to acknowledge me. I don't go there for that. Like I went there to just meet the legends or see the legends in person and just support in whatever way that I'm supporting. I did not do a video and I will not be putting up any content of the actual museum. I did many years ago on here. I believe the video is still up, of the Hall of Fame. The reason why I did not and I will not put up any updated videos of the Hall of Fame is because I'm not talking about the scenes. I'm talking about the actual museum. Is because I want people to visit and go to the museum because it's such a historical place. I would like people to go. I think this induction overall everyone should have been there. Everyone should have been there. Everyone. I don't understand why there just wasn't enough people there. It wasn't dead. It's just, I don't know. It's just like, it was a lot of older fans. Where are the young fans that be here all day? Where were they? You know, where are the channels? Where are the people that's on Twitter? Where are all these people? Where are they? I don't see them at fights. I don't see them at Hall of Fame events. I don't see them nowhere. Period. And I think that's a problem. And it's like, it goes back to what Hopkins was saying, like, yo, we do this. We're making real money off of this. People are making money off my name by asking for my signature. You know what I'm saying? And I felt that. And it made me thinking like, yo, he's right. Where are these people? I spent a lot of money this year. I spent as much as I would on a vacation. And I wasn't planning to do that, but it was just the moment. I was stuck in the moment. I was trapped in a moment. And I was just like, yo, there's so much stuff here. I want to bring some of this stuff back home with me. You know what I'm saying? Like I was able to bring like a good, like a lifetime worth of boxing stuff back with me. And I didn't even plan it, but just being able to go up to some of these people and shake their hand was everything I was looking for. You know? And look, I'm not dissing anyone specifically. I just feel like boxing fans, I felt like the people that were there were the real. And I understand that not everyone can make it. And I said this earlier. Not everyone. There's people that I know that are way more hardcore than I am about the history that can't go for whatever reason. They can't afford it. They can't travel, whatever. But I feel like New York, like Andre Rozier, I was talking to him. He couldn't make the induction. He said he had to get back to the city. Yo, just take the ride, man. There was people I met that drove 13 plus hours to get there. There's people that I met that flew from another country to get there. You know why? Because you got 3 classes in one. You're never going to get a class with Hopkins, Marquez, Mosley, Tony, Miguel Cotto, Vladimir Klitschko. All of these guys, all in one. Roy Jones, all in one. And no one cared to go. And I'm talking about people that make money off of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Floyd Mayweather was there. Marquez was there. Shane Mosley was there. And I felt like, where are these people? You know? Or where are the fans? It should be packed to a point where you can't even get close. It should be so packed that you can't even get close to the fighters. Because these are all-time great fighters. Yet I was able to, at times, casually walk up to these people. But in my eyes, they're superstars. I don't know. Like, how do we fix that? It's just a bunch of, with boxing, unfortunately, it's just a bunch of just people that's just here just to hash out issues with people that has no relations to boxing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Showtime Porter was very cool, by the way. This is in Canastota, New York. Please, again, Canastota, look up the International Boxing Hall of Fame. I believe there's a Hall of Fame in Europe. I believe, there is one in Vegas as well. But the official, historical one, the original one is upstate New York. All right. If you can, it doesn't have to be in the next induction. I'm not going to go every year, but if you can, just go at some point in your life. you know, or not even during the induction. Just go on a weekend, go visit the museum. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of history there. There's a lot of history there. Spend the weekend to go to a fight in Verona in the casino, Turnstile Casino. Again, this was my third time going. Um, just go, just go. It's a lot of history there. If you care for that, if you care for that. Yeah. So again, I just want to shout out to all of the fans or the supporters. I'm sorry, the supporters of the channel that was there, that I was able to meet. Got a lot of love from a lot of you there. Shout out to all the fighters that got inducted, and congratulations to them again. Rest in peace to every boxer that's lost their life in this. For real. For real. For real. This week I will be going to the fight on at the Garden between Joe Smith and Arthur Beterbiev. I will be there this Saturday, and I will eventually, probably tomorrow, maybe sometime, go over the fights this weekend, because I know there wasn't no major fights, but there was a lot of fights over the weekend, and I did see some of them on my phone and stuff. All right, I just didn't have a chance to cover. I said I wasn't going to cover any fights this weekend because I was going to be at the Hall of Fame, and I also said that I'm not going to cover the fight this weekend because I'm going to be at the actual fight. All right. And I feel good about going back to fights again, man. It's been so long. I miss going to like 4, 5, 6 fights a year. I try to keep it. I try to go to like 5 a year. All right. Especially because, and I appreciate you guys like Mr. Charles Edward Cheese, but all of you guys, I see Yusuf in there. A lot of you guys have donated to the channel. I appreciate what you've helped me, because some of you, just the donations alone help pay and cover just trip upstate that I did, so I do want to thank you guys for supporting the channel and stuff, because I've always done these things. I've always gone to fights. I've always gone to events, but you guys are helping me with the donations and stuff. They're supporting, because it's not all coming out of my pocket, and I will continue to keep giving you guys great content. All right. Please also go to all of the media channels that was able to cover this. All right, because they could have covered a fight. Shout out to Sean Porter. He was able to cover this whole event. Shout out to Sebastian Fundora, the young guy that was there. Everybody else that was there. And again, thank you. I'm gonna get on out of here. I had to head out, but I got more content coming on the way this week. All right. So anyway, appreciate you guys. Again, if you're new, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up. And I will do another video with all of my content. If you want to see some of the pictures that I took, hit me on the IG, hit me on the Instagram. I did post some pictures on Twitter and that's Instagram, but I'm gonna post some videos. I'm gonna just do a video at some point and try to upload it here on YouTube. All right. Y'all have a good day. Peace.